What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did close 4.4% in the green. So kick-ass day, 25.31 the low, 27.14 the high, and a lot of volume. So 96.8 million shares being traded, 66.6 is the average. Most of the volume that did occur today was linked to institutional transactions. So that's always a good positive. But there was no official news from SoFi, no SEC filings, no macro data. It was largely speculative. And reason why I say speculative is because of this right here. So I did a weekend video. Unfortunately, I would have brought this up, but I saw this pretty much right afterwards. But 𝗪𝗧 did bring up how SoFi and Bitgo might have some partnership announced. And this technically is over and above the zero hash that came out a couple weeks ago. This was shown on Bitgo's website. So SoFi, build your crypto portfolio. So if this isn't a clear sign of a partnership, I don't know what to tell you. And I don't think someone would go to lengths to recreate this type of website and falsify this type of thing. So I think in general, we are inches away from SoFi crypto being announced. So this should be pretty good. Keep in mind as well, Bitcoin did hit a all-time high today. So that is huge. Any company correlated with cryptocurrency in one way or another is just booming. So crypto is definitely hot. So yeah, anything associated to that is going to do fairly well. So that should be coming down the pipeline fairly soon. We also did have a new analyst rating, and that was from BTIG, Vincent, who has a 45% success rating. Fairly optimistic about SoFi. They didn't give a price target, but they did give a hold rating and kind of cited that there's a lot of good growth in the future. Interesting note though, for those of you that remember recently SoFi going down because of Upstart, this was the same analyst that downgraded Upstart because of a kind of a rapidly increasing amount of delinquencies. So for those of you that remember that, this is that same analyst. So very interesting that they are bullish on SoFi, negative on Upstart, which in theory, both kind of companies do and are fintech lenders. So definitely good to see. Shows that SoFi does stand out. And then last but not least, I'm leaving this last only because it might be speculative and some people might disagree with me on that, but Robinhood being down, I do feel like that did really help SoFi. It didn't cause it to go up like crazy, but clearly, whenever a competitor is struggling, usually it kind of gives a nice little boost up. So of course, nothing crazy, like this didn't cause people to FOMO in, but SoFi doing something right, Robinhood doing something wrong, at least momentarily, is kind of a positive thing. So unpopular opinion, so you can kind of disagree or argue with me on this point, and I am open to it. But nonetheless, I do feel it's just the optimism associated to crypto and a bullish rating that did come out. That's what caused SoFi to go higher. Aside from all that, shorts surprisingly did increase 1.42 million shares, 9.6% of the free float is being shorted, which works out to be 114.09 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow minimum is kind of extreme, and I've been covering SoFi for a while. I've never really seen it this low. So the minimum being 0.38%. Normally, it's just 0.02 or 0.2 at the max. So this is kind of extreme. So one broker or brokers really want to kind of incentivize some shorting. So interesting to take note of that. DTC though, still sitting at 1.64 days. So it does signal that shorts are overextended. Looking at the options, we had 122 million in calls, 23 million in puts. And despite everything, you had a lot of optimism. So 46% of all the options being done today were bullish in nature. Net premiums did go up 11.2 million as well. So definitely people are anticipating for more upside. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 27 to possibly even that 28.50 range by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub pretty much $24.50 to $25. So again, something to keep in mind. There's a little bit more downside based on this. Frequency is more bullish though. There was a lot of transactions that did occur today. So these are all the ones on the secondary market above $100,000. And for those of you that remember, I'm going to be orienting based on premium. So this is kind of highest down, highest being 73.7 million in one transaction, 16.7. 14.5. A lot of this was done after hours, and like I said, SoFi is starting to move up after hours, so definitely good to see. Aside from that, these are all the transactions that did occur on the dark pool. So a big one right here, 17.7 million. That was done pretty much market close. 13 million, 4.2, and so forth. So again, pause it and look at the timestamp if that floats your boat. But a lot of big money was looking at SoFi today and trading it, which is always a good thing. Aside from all that fun stuff, with it closing at 26.36, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 26.81 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. Did break past that. Unfortunately, not really enough meat on the bones to actually stay there, but over the next couple of trading days, just watch for that to be that key pivot. So 26.81 in the short term, and then 24.29. I'm looking at the one-day chart, so these are very strong support and resistance points. And since SoFi has been fairly volatile lately, this is why you see fairly wide gaps. So again, I don't anticipate this 24.29 to be hit. At least unless something crazy does happen, but at least for the next couple of trading days, just watch for that 26.81. Aside from all of that fun stuff right over here, there hasn't really been that much in articles talking about SoFi, which is rather odd, only because I feel like there's been like 10 different Easter eggs that did come out talking about cryptocurrency, and which is very weird because I actually did bring up in my video yesterday that I was going to do a full dedicated video just about Easter eggs. That's not even counting 𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗧's recent post with Bitgo. So there's definitely, like, I don't know, Anthony is pretty much holding up a sign saying crypto's coming, crypto's coming. Anyone thinking otherwise, you must be living under a rock, regrettably. But that, when they do announce that big news, that should really propel SoFi to, most likely, I would assume, 52-week and all-time highs. So we'll just have to wait and see, but no official articles really coming out. As far as this, you can kind of see the algos were a little bit more active, but still a lot of big transactions did occur today. No new ratings or whatever else. So you did have that one from BTIG, but there was no official price target that was given. And these are all the actual times that they've given ratings on SoFi. Way back in 2023, they were actually giving ratings, bullish ratings, buy ratings on SoFi. So that's something to take note of, but nonetheless, it did close above that 10-day moving average. So it does signal that there is more upside and momentum is building. So even though it did consolidate a little bit, nothing really to worry about in my opinion. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that, just wanted to quickly show you the market position. So comparing today versus Friday, you see a lot more willing buyers. So definitely very welcoming to see. So you have good support levels up until that 25.29 for the most part, and conveniently that's kind of the low for today. So 25.31 was the low. So at the end of the day, I feel like higher highs are going to be coming. And on the daily chart today, it did kind of bounce generally off of that 50-day moving average as well as 10. So on the weekly, we are above the 10. On the daily, we are kind of still in no man's land a little bit. So I feel like tomorrow we will be able to successfully piggyback off of this good momentum and really break above that 10-day moving average. We have a lot of Fed speakers coming out tomorrow, so that could cause some volatility, but generally I am optimistic about what is going to be stated. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.